Welcome back to another episode of Gregtech Community Edition Modern. Last time we got ourselves some wonderful, tasty, delicious, what is it? I forgot what it's called and I can't see it. Rocket fuel into nether stars. Throwing things around where they don't go as well, that's not good. So, I did set up a chemical reactor that run out of air in there, but we got a couple things of radon whipped up. I just got to pull out a storage bus really quick and set one more thing to autocraft what we're doing today. Need an item enderlink. Okay. That storage bus can be used to add this to our system. Now we should be able to craft those quantum stars. So let us see on that. I think we need 2 for now. But it looks like we are able to craft them up. So we should hear... That's not what we want. Going. Where is it crafting? Oh, it's crafting. Yeah, that's right. It's crafting in the overworld because that's where I've got the chemical bath. They actually should be... Ooh, how long do they take? Quantum stars. Oh, they take a long time. Yeah, it's a good thing we got those started right away. Because that's going to be a while. Anyways, in the meantime, the thing we are going to work on today is a macerator tower. And so this is one of the very first new multi-blocks that we're going to get into. Since we got into all of this stuff like fairly early, I guess this is technically the alloy blast furnace is the very first one we got into, which mixes or puts the mixer and the blast furnace together, which is kind of nice. But this will allow us to do macerating on a larger scale using parallel controllers. So let's go ahead and look at what we need to do here. So we need a big 5x5, it looks like. 5x5 area. And I am going to leave it with the auto hatch just so that I can leave it and forget it while I'm out busy working on other things. But we need ourselves a macerator power block. We need ourselves a maintenance hatch, a energy hatch, an input and output bus, 18 crushing wheels, and 67 secure maceration blocks casings. Now, this is why we needed the radon stars, is for the elite parallel controller. Without this block, it does not do the function you want it to. We need both an IV emitter and an IV sensor, which each of those in turn require a quantum star. That's why we had to craft up 2 of them, and we will let that go ahead and continue while we set this up. So let's just look at that recipe again. It looks like we can set it up, and I think I do want to set it up kind of in this manner where it's on the back here. And then we have our input and output on the front, and then the side for the output, and we'll continue our new ore chain down this way, just so that we have a place to be able to wire up different machines to stuff. So let's grab out all of our other blocks that we've got. And I do want this extreme transformer, because I am going to use an IV input for the energy hatch. We do need to get started on making the stuff for this. Looks like we can make everything but the iridium rod. So let's get that started. And we'll quickly whip up what this is going to be. So now the question is as well, and this is something I've noticed, if you click on the block, you can find out what you can place it as. So I want the entire bottom to be this solid block. So we're going to do the entire bottom solid block here. So we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 3, 4, and we will fill in this entire bottom. Just like so. Now it says we need 18 of these, which has me believe, yeah. So we will need to fill in the entire bottom with this. And then the crushing wheels are going to go just like this with another batch right on top. We know we're not going to be using the corners for any inputs or outputs, so we can go ahead and build those up. I'll leave that there because I know we're not going to use that as an input as well. And then we can build up the rim around. And we can go into designing exactly how we're going to have it look. Let's go ahead and have the controller right up front and center. We're going to have ourselves the maintenance hatch, can go right back here. We don't need access to it, so this is perfectly fine. We can place our power casing right there. And then we just need our inputs and outputs after that. So we can go ahead and fill. We actually do want one more, which is going to be the controller hatch. But we can fill in all of the sides that we're not going to be doing anything with. I do want the input right here, so let's get our input bus right there. I do want the output bus on this side. And then let's fill in the rest of that. So, now all we need to do is pursue getting that other block, the Elite Parallel Controller. Like I said, we need IV emitter and an IV sensor. So let's go ahead and make sure everything else that we need that is there gets started, as these take some time to get through. And let's go get to solving the other problems that we have. So, the first one we have is we need to make iridium rods, which I believe we already have iridium, so we just need to put it through an extruder. And we do, so we can go ahead and put that through our, I think it's this one. It's starting to figure out which one it is on the crafting module there. So now we should be able to make our iridium rod. So we can go ahead and grab that. I guess. Oh, that's right. In there it's going to do that. And I guess because we started another crafting recipe, it already used up our plates that we made. But we can give it a second there. So the reason that we're going to do this one first is this will allow us to macerate ores, any other components that we're going to have go through. Now, I know we're currently using crushed ore straight from the mining tower, but I'm going to take a little bit of digging after this episode to check on it, because we can make the next tier of miners. So the large miner is nearly identical as the regular one, except it has a wider range and uses more drilling fluid. It's an optional upgrade you might not need, but if you look at it, it's supposed to have silk touch and chunk aligned modes, whereas the other one, I guess, supposedly doesn't. Look at that really quick while we're waiting for those couple other things to do. So yeah, they say they have it, which I don't know what it is that you have to do to make it have the silk touch. But I guess it doesn't matter. Yeah, it's silk touch. Yeah, no, I'm not sure how to do that. I'll have to figure something about that out. It would definitely make the mining process a lot faster, and then allow us to use the crusher for that purpose. But that's not what we're looking to do right now. Right now, we need to go ahead and make ourselves a sensor. And then I guess we need the emitter too, which I think we have. We do have everything able to be auto-crafted. We just got to wait for those nanoprocessors to be done. Which, I suppose we're making our way through that right now. Nice and slowly, but we are. And then I guess the last thing we need is we need 2x platinum cables. Which I don't know if I can craft platinum cables. I can make the 1x platinum cables, so I would just need to do the wire together and then the cables themselves. So let's go ahead and set up a recipe there. We don't want silicone rubber, as we do not have any of that, but we'll craft that one and that one. That in there, and put this one into an assembler that's got extra spaces. I'm pretty sure it doesn't rely on a number, so we should be able to just plop it on in. Actually check up on our progress right now. So it's currently making the circuit boards, and once that's done, it looks like it's got everything ready but the circuit boards and the nanoprocessors, which is nice. I do like that I got the circuit boards auto-craftable. I just need to set up a method to have some of them ready to be used right away. So, because this is definitely one of those more lengthy processes to get through. Now, as for the maceration tower, one of the things that I'm thinking of doing is having a way to import into a box or some sort of inventory system, then have that inventory pump it into the macerator, so that this one macerator can handle all gemstones, all ores that need to be crushed down, everything. So that we only have to have the one macerator that we can upgrade over time, and have this run all of our ore processing processes. The biggest thing that this will help out with at first is processing the remaining ores that I have that currently have nowhere else to go. It is still taking its fine little time doing it. I think we're on to processing those nanocomputers, which each take 20 seconds apiece. I think it's kind of crazy because we're also close to being able to make better circuits as well. I'm actually really excited to get some of this other stuff too, as the assembly line. I've never used this before, and this will be my first time going towards trying to use it. So it'll be pretty cool to see. This data, oh yeah, see, this is the stuff that I'm like, I have no idea about this stuff. Computers, and like, I know I didn't mention it a while ago, but getting past episode 50 was quite the astonishment to me. On top of the fact of not only getting past the episode, but that we were further along at episode 50 in this series than I was in the previous one. Just completely miles ahead, because I knew more about what I was doing rather than being completely lost and like, what do I do next? Where do I go from here? But I also remember at the time that quest book wasn't complete, and I basically made it to the end of the quest book. They had a couple things where it was like, hey, look, here and there you can do this stuff. But it was like, basically, get this, get this, get this, circuits, and metal. And then they would do the same thing for every tier. It was like, get this metal so that you could upgrade to this metal, and then get this machine and more circuits. And it completely skipped over assembly line. It completely skipped over like anything unique to that tier. I don't remember it having a substation thing in the book. I'd have to look back and check on it, but I don't believe it did. So it's great to see that this is going to be completed here shortly. Another 40 seconds there. And then we literally just need, I guess we need the sensor still. Is it not the sensor? It's the emitter. We just need the circuits there. I find it very interesting that it wants to go through the harder way to get to those. So I wonder if I take out the harder way to get to those. If I take this out, will it do the other one? Supercomputer. 2 of these. You see, it should make those way faster than it tried to make these things. I'll just stick that in my backpack for now. But it's cool to have all this process automated for when this stuff doesn't have enough of it, so that it can just cycle through. I mean, I wish I had something else to kind of talk about right now, but not much else has really happened as of recently. I haven't gotten any cool new articles to talk about, or... Actually, there is a video that I've got saved to my watch list that I'm excited to watch. It's about nuclear reactors, and that there's a... I guess the thumbnail says the first nuclear fusion reactor is put in its bid to be a part of the power grid, which I haven't gotten a chance to watch that yet because I've been busy today. But yeah, I saw that when I was scrolling through and was like, "Ooh, that looks like a fun video to watch. I'm gonna watch that later." I'm excited to find out about that. If anybody else has heard anything about that, feel free to leave a comment about it, as it'd be kind of something cool to see what people's thoughts are on that, or what people have heard of it so far. Okay, where are we at? This process, how much closer? I can't wait to make the next tier. We're gonna make the next tier probably next episode after this, so we don't have to wait forever for every individual thing to go through. So there's a second one that's going to be coming through here in a second. And then we can actually make our parallel block and actually see this thing in action. Because I think I actually need to get some, 2 more Ender item links, maybe? What I want to be doing after that. So just have that ready to start crafting as soon as it opens. There we go. And the emitter. So now we have our elite parallel control. Oh, need to make those wires first. I'm actually going to go ahead and set this up while we're waiting. I did set up another miner in the end to mine a couple ores. It's probably got a majority of its area taken up by the other miner that I set up there, but we can test it out this way, which is going to be nice. So we just need those wires. Looks like it's smelting the platinum too, so that's going to be a second. But okay, there we go. Quite literally 1 second. Maybe like a little bit longer. Still. There's the hatch. What are we missing? What are we missing? We have our power. We have our control hatch. We have our macerator tower. Oh, does it have to go one up? Is that the problem? Usually that's like a thing that it's super picky on it, the location of that. So we have this. We need the energy, and then we're going to need an output for it in a minute, but we'll get the energy in first. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to get our transformer down, hopefully facing the right way. And, yep, grab out those ender links and a screwdriver. And we will see that go, and it should now be processing those. It looks like it's doing 1 a second here. That is awesome. I think it's wild that this thing is still not like running at full capacity, despite the fact that it's doing an EV recipe. But I want to do it, guys. I'm not gonna do it. Oh no. Already got something that's gonna clog it up in here. And look at that. Look at it go. It's crushing through them like mad. So now, I guess we only needed 1. But this can be linked up to import into the miner. And it is working. Oh boy, here we go. Now we're doing it. But we just have to set it up to automatically transfer, or to not you put dust in. So, because that's definitely going to clog this up. So that's where we need our handy dandy crate. And we will say the crate. We need some filters. We need the green ones. What do we got? We got the emerald plates in there? Yeah. Need another 8. There's a crate. 1 and 2 of those, and we will do all dust. Dust. And not dust. I guess wild card is what it is. But here we go. Okay. So let's get that cover off and fix this. So we have no clogs. Figure out what I'm looking for. Pop that up. We're gonna go right. Let's say this is dust. We want not dust right there. we can do, boom, render link, dust, have it be the, not the miner, whole ore. Oh no, miner. Miner is what we want. What do we do? Wait, what? Give me my filter bag. Want it sent to miner. We're going to import. There we go. Okay. Now, it would help if I had opening to pull out the previous dust. Place that down. So now, we should not see that this has any dust in it. We're good. Okay. Fix it. Say this one. I'll export. Whole ore. Now we're working again. Sweet. And then this will export straight over into our ore processing chest, as that's where we're still processing it down the rest of the way. But this is nice because I can put a cover on. Just go ahead and show that off. We are filling up over here. So now I can put a cover on something and have all of these start pumping into a chest. Clearly you can't hear me, but I can pump all of this stuff into a chest that then gets macerated down and processed over there to my own delight. And that will solve a bit of our ore processing stuff. And then I can change that channel to, instead of being whole ore, we'll probably change it to something like Macerator, just so that any gems, any guess the purified ore we're macerating, stuff like that, so that I can basically just send over anything that I want to send over to the macerator that way. On top of that, as we get more prepared inventory-wise, I will actually be able to introduce like a storage bus on there that filters in all of the particular ores that I want to macerate, instead of trying to be like, oh, well, I want just everything, just macerate all of these particular ones because this is the way I want this one processed. I'll actually be able to start nitpicking and choosing which way I want to process the ores a lot cleaner. So, but now this one's going to be going slow because it is hooked up to the old MV miner that I have over in the end. So that's just the nature of the game for now. But as we get more of our ore processing moved over, this will definitely have way more use, way more stuff to do. But this one machine essentially replaces all of our HV macerators, on top of the fact it does all recipes in 1 second. So we're getting basically one macerator done in 2.5 seconds, where our overworld ones are doing one every 5 seconds. So we're essentially getting one every 1.25 seconds currently. So this massively increases our speed, massively increases our space that we're not going to have to take up, because we can have this be managed by simple storage buses and other things, rather than having a whole pipe system that I've got snaking around to try to figure out how to filter in the proper ores and everything. So, but spaghetti is the nature of Gregtech. But thank you guys very much for watching. Please like and subscribe and leave a comment below in the comment section. And I will see you guys next time. Bye!